on paper, he did the right thing. I mean, he brought in, the guy who's in charge of the number one defense in college football, paid him $2 million a year. So we'll see.
Yeah, it was a good hire.
This year will prove if he's a top 5 coach or
Right,
not, because
exactly.
he has to win the Big Ten again. I mean, if he loses to Michigan, I mean, you can. The fans themselves will start to question if this was the right move.
So maybe he was born on third base and thought he hit a triple. I don't know.
But I will say this: I have confidence that he is that good,
I do
especially on offense. And now he's brought in a guy that can totally take control of the defense. He's going to leave him alone. Knowles has been around everywhere. He developed the 3-3-5 defense at West Virginia.
Great job at Oklahoma State.
Now he's doing the 4-2-5 because of the spread. I really think they made the right hires. And I have to give Ryan Day credit for going out and saying, you know what, we screwed up. We love Coach Combs, but he's got to go. And they ran everybody off that defensive staff.
Right. Yeah, they did.
This is your top 3 coaches in college football. I don't agree with one of them, but let's see what you guys think. At number 3, Kirby Smart at Georgia gets it done. I think he's the elite recruiter in college football. Him and Nick, I think, are at the top in recruiting. Everybody okay with him at number 3?
And that's why Ryan Day's up there, because he's been recruiting on that level with them.
Now, Dabo at Clemson's number 2. I don't know. Is he number 2?
Absolutely.
He's won the most national championships, besides Saban, right?
To me, it's a slam dunk. I mean, he's the only guy that's actually gone in there and competed with Alabama. I think he was 2-2 against them in national championship games. One he actually put it on in one year. So to me, it's a no-brainer. Dabo at number 2.
Yeah, because like you just said, I mean, if Nick's number 1, obviously,
right.
Dabo's got to be number 2.
Nick is number 1.
And won 10 games this year with no offense of any kind.
And that was their down year.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Down year, and they won 10 games.
Yeah, it's like we all falling apart. Like they all, they won 10 games.
I think as an Alabama fan, I'm not an Alabama fan. I think if I was an Alabama fan and I knew Nick Saban was retiring 2 years, if I knew we had Dabo in the hopper, I'd be extremely happy.
Yeah, but he's smart. He knows. He's an Alabama guy. He knows not to follow Nick.
But look what's going on at Clemson. They lost their AD. They lost their defensive coordinator. They lost their offensive coordinator. Things around Clemson are very.
If he could get one of those sweet deals where it's a 10-year deal, guaranteed money, if they fire him, it wouldn't matter.
Right.
Then he probably could get it from Alabama people, too, because people love him in the state. All right, Ryan, let's get into what you got for us today. Auburn, SEC tournament.
Yeah, we'll talk more basketball. We can talk, love to talk about the Big Ten remaining 8 teams as well in the tournament. But, yeah, obviously, after yesterday, Auburn's going to face Texas A&M here in a couple hours at 11 o'clock down there in Tampa, or I think St. Pete is actually where it is. But, Auburn, I actually would prefer them to play Texas A&M. Auburn lost to Florida. It was at Florida. They played a little bit better at Texas A&M earlier in the season when they played Texas A&M in Auburn. Kessler had one of his 2 triple doubles that game, so I think it's a good matchup. Obviously, Auburn's favored. Obviously Auburn, wants to win the SEC tournament. They won the regular season championship 4 years ago. When they won the regular season championship, they did not win the SEC tournament, and I think that's something they're trying to avenge. But should be a great basketball game. These 4 games today are going to be pretty awesome. I think with that second game at 1 o'clock being LSU and Arkansas, I think that's going to be a really, really, really good basketball game. I heard Brian talking the other day about LSU making a deep run, and they're on their way, and it's going to be a tough game against Arkansas, but the neutral site makes it different. And then of course you've got Mississippi State playing Tennessee, which is at 5 o'clock today, and then much to your chagrin, you've got Vandy playing Kentucky in the nightcap at 7 o'clock. So it should be some pretty interesting games. But
today's a fun day to watch them.
Good. College basketball today, and you got the Players Championship going on as well. But what are y'all's thoughts on who you think is going to win those games? Let's start with Texas A&M and Auburn.
I honestly, God, A&M went into Tuscaloosa and they look good. I watched them. Was it yesterday or today? I watched them. Yesterday I watched them.
No basketball games happened yesterday.
I've watched so much I've gotten dizzy. But they've got some, just like you pointed out, everybody's got good looking
Jason
players.
said, SEC from top to bottom is as good as it's ever been.
But have you seen A&M? They've got some big, good-looking kids that can run. It won't shock me if they pull the upset, but I think Auburn.
I think any of these games could go either way.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question before we get into this. I want to ask Jason, because he's a smart, intelligent guy. Since 2015, there's only 2 states that have produced SEC tournament champions. What 2 states are they?
In basketball?
In basketball.
Obviously, Alabama
Florida?
is one of them.
Florida. Okay, what's the other one?
Alabama.
Kentucky.
Yeah, correct, sir.
Because
I was thinking,
Alabama.
What's the
wasn't-
other one?
I thought Florida won one.
They didn't have it. Now, you got to remember, they didn't have it that COVID year. What's the other state?
Alabama won it.
I have no idea. State of confusion.
Didn't Alabama win the SEC tournament?
Yes.
Recently?
So you
Yeah.
got it right. Two
Yeah,
states.
Alabama. Yeah.
Ryan got it right.
That's what he
Kentucky.
said.
Kentucky. No, he
I
didn't.
said Florida.
Well,
said
yeah,
Florida.
he said Alabama too, though.
Kentucky has won it 15, 16, 17, 18. Auburn won it 19. No tournament in 20. 21, Bama won it.
Yep.
So Alabama, the state of Alabama, and a great state
I
of
was thinking
Kentucky.
Auburn when I said Alabama.
Yeah, that's what most people probably would have thought. But no, who do you like? Go with the other games.
Yeah, and then you got LSU, Arkansas. That's the, according to the point spread, the
Well-
closest matchup of the four.
That game, I don't know.
LSU's kind of been a little bit like Alabama. You know, in the beginning of the season, they were
Yeah.
playing really, really good basketball. They were ranked real high, and then they kind of ran into a buzzsaw with Auburn, Arkansas. I mean, they lost to them earlier the
Well,
year.
let me ask you this: it's like in golf. When you haven't played, you are fresher, but it takes a while to get in the groove again.
Well, yeah, and a team like Vandy, you know, going into Kentucky, they whooped up on, I forget who they
Georgia.
Yeah, Georgia. I
Georgia.
can't believe how bad Georgia is in basketball.
Georgia.
It's a good thing they won a national championship in football because their basketball team. I didn't realize they were 1-16 in the
One in
SEC.
17.
One in
I can't believe he
He's
was that
fired. He
bad.
got fired. Officially fired too.
Yeah, no doubt.
Who do y'all like, LSU or Arkansas?
I like
I'm-
Arkansas. I
but
just think
Arkansas ain't
Arkansas's playing
played-
some of the best basketball in the country right now.
So
just tough-minded. Defense.
LSU played yesterday. They turn around and play again.
He just got
Didn't
noticed some
bother Vandy.
allegations.
Yeah, it didn't bother Vandy. I'm gonna go Arkansas too.
Well, you're not used to playing games day after day after
Yeah,
day. You're always
gonna get
getting a break.
tired.
But at the same time, you know, you've got the momentum from the game you just played. You know, Vandy obviously big comeback win over Alabama, so they've got that momentum. So I think you got a combination of being fresh and also the momentum of winning a few games.
Fans may not want to hear this. As a coach, if I was a coach, I'd rather lose on a Friday and get Saturday, Sunday off because that quick turnaround, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're playing maybe 3 to 4 games in a row. That's not normal for these college kids at this
Right,
age. Then
right.
you turn around and then you got either a Thursday, Saturday game against elite competition. You know, I used to think a couple teams used to just
Just
possibly
lay an egg
throw
for
a
the
game,
tournament.
you know, on that Friday, get Saturday, Sunday off, watch the games, be able to scout other teams. So, you know, some of these teams don't need these tournaments for their seeding. They're already locked into where they're going.
It's all about money.
Oh, absolutely.
It's what this is. So Jim, you got LSU over Arkansas. You got Arkansas.
No, I would take Arkansas.
So everybody's got Auburn and Arkansas so far, correct?
Yeah.
All right. What's the next one?
Yeah, it's Mississippi State and Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee. I'm sorry. If they get hot, they could beat anybody.
And he's a good coach. I mean,
Yeah, he is a really good
Yeah.
coach. Jim, who you
Texas.
Tennessee.
got? Everybody got Tennessee.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, Mississippi State had to play South Carolina, and South Carolina's
I tell you what, now that Vandy Pittman, he's good. Of course, who's his daddy? You know.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean,
You are, aren't you? Well,
Kentucky's the blue blood.
Wait a
Everybody.
minute, you wouldn't be surprised if Vandy beats Kentucky?
I wouldn't be surprised. No.
I'd be shocked.
I'll be
I think-
shocked. I'll be shocked.
I think they got up for one game.
That'll
and
be
now
the
they're
third
gonna get
straight game in a row.
absolutely ripped.
Hey, what else does Vandy have to play for? Like Jason just said,
Baseball season.
Kentucky's
Baseball. They're as good as anybody. in
Kentucky's
baseball.
already in. They got a high, maybe a 2 seed in the tournament. You know, do they want to?
I think Kentucky's
Calipari's
healthy.
been doing it. You know,
Oh,
maybe
okay.
they, take
Okay.
it easy and
All right.
lose the Friday
I get
game,
you.
and
I get you.
all of a sudden they're rocking and rolling in the tournament.
All right, y'all hold your thoughts there. I think Ron's the only one's got Vandy beating Kentucky.
All I said was I wouldn't be shocked if
Okay,
Vandy
all right,
beat Kentucky.
okay,
If I was
all right.
betting, I would be
So
putting
mark
them
it
up.
down. He's got
All
Vandy.
right.
Shot.
He's got Vandy. I
Yeah,
saw his.
Yeah, I'll
I
text you
saw
at
his.
9 o'clock tonight. I told you Vandy was going to win.
I see his list right here, his betting list. Hey, you know what? You cannot play around with skin cancer. If it doesn't look right, feel right, please do not put it off. If you're listening right now in Northwest Florida, there's an office near you. Go see Dr. Ward. The guy's incredible. I had surgery by him. He does a great job. Dr. Ward. Also, newbies. Get out and have a wonderful time. All three newbies, the mothership, the best bands in the Southeast every Friday and Saturday night. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. All right, baby.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Paul Feinbaum Show.
I've always felt, and I've said this many times, I've always thought Georgia Stadium was one of the most idyllic I've ever been to. That was one of the coolest things in the world in the fall. I mean, obviously Tiger Stadium on a Saturday night is a standalone place, but I'm not sure the beauty of it compares to Athens. I'll take Sanford Stadium any day.
Weeknights starting at 6. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. His biggest fear about the zombie apocalypse is all the walking. It's the Coach James Hale Show, live from the J. Michael Studio on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hi, I'm Tracy, your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Shopping for the perfect diamond can be difficult, but that's why I've trained my staff to be helpful and to offer you a stress-free diamond experience. Pick your sparkle and use our easy layaway plan. Every woman deserves an exquisite diamond from your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We don't work on commissions.
We work for smiles and I-dos.
So if you're tired of high-pressure salespeople, stop by and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Are you ready for the best pizza in Bay County? It's Paparazzi Gourmet Deli with over 100 years of recipes passed down through 4 generations. Paparazzi Gourmet specializes in New York and authentic Italian-American specialties from the deli, prepared foods, and of course, pizza. They even cater for all occasions. Click paparazzigourmetdeli.com to check out their daily specials. Come taste the difference at Paparazzi Gourmet Deli, Thomas Drive next to Goodwill on Panama City Beach. Call 850-588-8244 for fast pickup and DoorDash.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Stacy Sorrells is now the new offensive line coach at Auburn. I got to get this in. I'm sorry, played at Auburn. He's the new offensive line coach. We were talking about money earlier. Georgia's new offensive line coach is going to make $650,000 a year coach the offensive line. Matt Luke left Georgia. He was making $900,000. Wow. So Kirby saved a little bit of money there. McClendon, their wide receiver coach, he's going to make $700,000. I cannot believe this. My offensive line coach was the most important position, the most important hire, and I think it's the most important coach. One in your defensive coordinator. Jim did both for me. Fran Brown, DB coach, is making $750,000. Does Kirby love the defensive coaches? I don't know. Will Muschamp is now he's making money still off South Carolina. They're going to pay him $800,000. Trey Scott, defensive line coach, $750,000. Monken is going to make $1,250,000 as OC. Mike Bobo just got fired, get paid for Auburn for another year and not working there. He's going to make $100,000 as an analyst. So that's kind of money. We're talking about money. Golfers, this is coaching. Another thing I wanted to hit before we get into the Big Ten, recent overhaul stadiums. There's talk, and I saw the pictures of it. It's incredible. Penn State's thinking about building a new stadium. That stadium they've got is old. Okay, right. So they showed pictures of it. Oh, my God. Triple deck all the way around, brick buildings around it for recruiting, offices, all this stuff. It's unbelievable, guys.
How much is it going to cost?
Oh, it's out of the ballpark. It's crazy. And the upper deck support beams go into the roof of the building. Wow. It looks beautiful. Yeah. I'll show you a picture. They just did an overhaul not long ago, and they spent $90 million. Texas A&M, as we know, redid their stadium, did $450 million, added on, made it the biggest stadium in the SEC. Notre Dame made theirs bigger, went up to $400 million. Ohio State did a touch-up job and spent $40 million. What did they do?
Well,
they spent $40 million the last couple of years.
I don't know.
A couple of times they've dug down and actually put in some luxurious suites.
The boxes, right, that's what it was.
Yeah.
$40 million on box. How much they got to sell them for to make it up?
A lot.
A lot. And they probably get it, too.
The prices out there are outrageous right now.
But I think it's crazy that Penn State's talking to do this. I don't think anything's wrong with what they got now.
It's an arms race. People wonder why. When you go to Georgia, you go to Alabama, you go to Texas, you go to Ohio State, you go to their facilities, and you want to live there for 4 years, even if you're not a fan of the school. I mean, you live in luxurious, like accommodations. I mean, there's barbershops, you got flat screen TVs. It's not like the old days where you go in a dorm and you're like in a section that's cheaply made. They have granite countertops, kitchens, nice bedrooms. So it's an arms race.
Okay, good. Because I want y'all's opinion on this. These are the 5. I went over this with another group. I want to get y'all's opinion too, because y'all are really into football, and y'all are a lot younger than the other 2 guys I asked about this. The 5 most overpaid coaches in college football. I definitely agree, not in the order, but I agree he needs to be on it. James Franklin is making $7 million a year coaching in the Big Ten. I believe he's the 3rd highest paid coach in the Big Ten. He had 3 great years, okay? 2016, the next year, I think they went to the Rose Bowl, I believe, that year. He won the Big Ten title in 2016. But he lost in the Rose Bowl. He finished 11-3 after winning the Big Ten. The next year, he went 11-2, went to the Fiesta Bowl. The year after that, he went 11-2 again. I think it's one of the years they beat Ohio State in that game at home. But since then, guys, he's 11-11. He's 8-10 in the Big Ten. And yet he's the 3rd highest. I definitely say it's $7 million a year. It might be more than 7 now. He is definitely the high on that list, overpaid. I think he's overpaid.
I think he's up to 9. I think his contract was 10 years, $90 million.
The new one,
just recently. And
I don't think. What has he done to get that? I mean,
just compete with Ohio State. I mean, if you look at the games, they're close. I mean, he's beat them once or twice. They're the only team that looks Ohio State in the eye is not scared. But the problem is he gets talent at Penn State. He makes some of the most boneheaded coaching decisions.
Auburn should have beat them.
I think it was 4th and 5. We were over there one year, and they ran a quarterback sneak.
They ran the outside zone, and Chase Young hit him right in the mouth right after
on the 4th and 5.
That was a home game too. That was a home game,
and it was just a real take the end around and have your quarterback run a draw, and the defense is just like
you don't hate him or dislike him. You're not a Big Ten guy. What do you think? I think he's overpaid.
Well, I mean, for what he's done the last 3 or 4 years,
and he got
100%.
He got a huge raise over that because they said a rumor that Southern Cal or LSU might want him.
Good.
I'm like, let him go.
I think they made a huge mistake because Luke Fickell wanted a Power 5 job.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if Notre Dame would have waited 3 weeks because they had to get somebody in for recruiting, they wouldn't have hired Marcus Freeman. Luke Fickell would have taken that job. Yeah. They didn't want to wait for him to play Alabama in the playoffs. I think if he would have went to Penn State or even Michigan, because I don't think he'd go to Michigan just being an Ohio State guy, but if he went to Penn State, I would fear what they could become.
All right, Northwestern, Pat Fitzgerald. Is he his record in the Big Ten is 64-60. And I know it's Northwestern. He does a great job because it is Northwestern.
Fitzgerald fan. I saw him speak at a conference one year, and ever since then, I've been a big Pat Fitzgerald fan.
It's hard to win there.
It's hard to win. I mean, you win at 7 games, it's like winning 11 or 12 at Ohio State.
But should he be on that list?
Absolutely not.
No.
I mean,
way.
He is Northwestern football. He's the face of that program. It doesn't matter who they recruit. They're going to be solid.
That's the one I questioned too.
I mean, for them to be in the top 20.
Yeah, I mean, I love him as a coach, but yeah, being overpaid, yeah, absolutely.
All right, number 3, Mario Cristobal, 7th highest paid coach in college football. Miami went all out. They wanted to win. He played there. At FIU, he was 27-47. He goes to Saban. His career goes nothing but to the top. Goes out to Oregon, 35-13. But is he worth $8 million a year? He did a good job at Oregon.
If Miami wins, he is.
Yeah, I think the jury's out on that. Yeah.
But still, the worker, you only go by what you got right now. Was that enough to be paid $8 million a year? Is he overpaid?
I mean, I think, like you said, Miami's trying to go all in and figure this thing out and get it righted. So, yeah, I mean.
For what he's being paid, I think he's overpaid.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the whole country as a whole, yeah. But for what Miami's trying to do, I don't think so.
Could, like Jim said, could work out to be a bargain. Who knows?
For Miami is because of all the other problems they have with their stadiums and facilities, they had to overpay somebody
to get him to come.
And that was a Miami guy.
To get him to come.
He
Absolutely.
had a big name. He gave them chops in recruiting immediately. He's keeping some Miami kids home. So they had to overpay. Is he overpaid? Of course he is. But Miami had to overpay somebody to get somebody down there that could.
All right. I know you're going to love this one. And I
Michigan Eddie, you're up.
LSU's Brian Kelly, $9.5 million. Can't talk Southern. We already talked about that. Right. He can't dance. We talked about that. He's winless in
What's
playoff
wrong with that?
games.
I can't talk Southern or
You
dance.
are now a Southern boy. We don't even think of you.
That's
are
true.
But
you're
you
a
did
Auburn
get your
boy.
picture taken with a kilt and knee socks.
And I can dance a little bit, so.
Now he got killed in the national championship, but he got there, man. He's been in the playoffs. He's won. He's competed for a national championship.
His route to get there
Is he
was pretty
worth
easy.
$9.5 million? Is he overpaid?
Yes, for LSU,
probably.
because I think there's much better fits for LSU that would win. I mean,
Well, I mean, the overpaid thing is tough because everybody's salary keeps going
Right,
up
right.
and up and up and up.
we could
and
say
up.
everybody's overpaid
Yeah,
right now
'cause,
outside of
yeah.
Would you
Saturday.
say he's at number 2 on this list, though?
I would put him on the list, maybe not number 2, because I think he has a chance to be able to, take LSU to a national title. I can't see it because of the fit, not because of his coaching
I
ability.
think they could have got a great coach. Well, got to remember now, all that stuff was going on. A lot of stuff off field was going on. Les Smile, all the scandals over
Let me
there.
ask you this: do you think he would have more success at LSU than Lane Kiffin would?
Oh, I think Lane Kiffin would knock it out of the ballpark there.
I do too.
Case in
But
point.
they had problems there, and they
didn't want to.
didn't want to
yeah.
make sure they continued to have
the
problems.
off-field stuff.
Right, exactly.
Right.
All right, at number 1, and I do agree with this, and I didn't even realize this. He's out in the Pac-12. He can coach there forever. He's making $8.9 million a year.
Wow.
David Shaw, Stanford. Can you believe that? They're paying him almost $9 million a year.
Didn't know
and
that
they,
one.
No,
they
I
don't
didn't
even
either.
care about football out
No,
there.
they don't really.
You know what? He's since 2021 he was 3-9. The last 4 games, let's say he hadn't won more than 4 games since 2018. 2018.
Sounds like the best job in college
Yeah.
football.
That in
Yeah.
Kentucky.
I mean,
Kentucky
yeah.
football.
Harbaugh
But
built that
Kentucky's
program
winning
up.
though.
I
Yeah.
definitely say he's number 1 with his schedule, his
Absolutely.
record.
100%.
I want to know what Chip Kelly's making because he's stealing money. I mean, it's absolutely atrocious what he's done at UCLA, and for them to continue to pay him like that is just I can't believe it. And he's got to be one of the highest paid coaches in the country.
Got to go.
So he should be on that list for me.
Guys, we'll be out for a week. Thank you guys so much for listening. Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for calling. Jim, thank you. Ryan, thank you. Jason, thank you. Randy, fix the camera. But anyway, real quick, anything?
Be
Bay
safe on
Point?
spring break. Come see us tonight for live music.
Yes, sir. We're out. ESPN Northwest Florida. Man, that was great.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida presents the madness of college basketball. 68 teams, 32 conference champions, but there can only